like, yo, like there's a lane for everyone. There's millions of people in this world. So if you're making something and it's authentic and you feel it, someone's going to connect with it. It's going to connect with someone.
Yo, want to talk about swag? Koof and Christine have it all. When you combine a harpist with an MC, you get some of the most interesting music out. While I still don't really know the genre of music, the quality of their music is easy to spot. Their first interaction at Whole Foods transformed into a lifestyle that takes them all the way to places like Alaska to perform, while also using the vehicle music to help people reach their fullest potential. Here, check it out.
Yeah, and so she said, like, yeah, if you ever want to collab with a harpist, and I'm like, a harpist, like, only thing I know about harp is what I see on TV, like
I've never seen
classical,
a harp in my life. I've seen it on TV. I've never
exactly.
seen. I didn't know they were that big.
That's how I was. But I was thinking, I'm like, yo, that might sound crazy, like a crazy hip hop track with some harp on it. So I sent her some tracks, and she like improv'd over it and sent it back, and I was like, yeah, that's dope.
It sounds, it makes sense.
And then I'm like curious, so I'm like listening back. I'm like, let me listen back to some old hip hop, and come to find out, like on Gangstar premiere, and like their first album was full of harp on guitar, you know,
like hear it now.
And that was like really late 90s hip hop, and that's what I was like always been into. So I was listening to stuff, and I'm like, oh, this isn't anything new. Like this is so it's like, you know, there's a history to it.
Power to the driven, it's drawn towards the mission. So uplifting, yeah, we're gifted. The universe spoken, of course we listen. Using our verse, the words follow.
And it just took off from there.
Yeah, because our first show together was completely improv. Like,
no way.
Yeah, we had a plan. Like it was her first time making beats, and she made some beats, and I was like, all right. I was like, for this audience, because it was an audience. It was a house show. There was like 70 people in this house. It was like a house show, and the sound system wasn't great. The beat she created, if we would have played it through the sound system, it would have sound kind of shoddy. It wouldn't have been like a great representation of what we do. So I'm like, hey, like, I know we have something planned, but we should just improv this. You just get up there, you play your harp.
And this was your first time.
Like 5 minutes before we started.
Oh, what? And you just felt it. You
should just play, and I'm like, just play.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't tell you to do something if I didn't think that you can do it.
Yeah,
like,
for
you
sure.
know, like,
For
I
sure.
wouldn't do that to you, you
For
know.
sure.
Yeah.
So I know you can do it. Just like do it.
Yeah.
And what did you say?
Yo.
You're just like, all right.
Well, yeah. Like,
Wow.
I mean, I trusted him as being a performer for so many years that, like, obviously he was saying it, you know, to benefit our performance and the group that was there and the whole thing. So I had to let my fear out the window to be like, yeah, I trust you.
Yeah. Wow.
Gotta break the cycles. How will patterns change if we remain the same?
I think the idea is to just have the audience in a positive place. Like, people come out to see music, they paid their money to be there. Like, they didn't have to be there, but they paid their money to be there. So I think the idea is to make it a good time for them and enjoyable for them. So like, I think our message, like, we make music that the aim is that feels good. So when we're performing live, we wanna transform that energy to them. And so when we do shows, that's the idea we have. And from what I've seen at the shows, it goes over well like that, and people enjoy it. It's just fun, It's fun. We're doing what we love, and we're having fun, and I think that that runs off. Yeah. So I think at first, like, I've been in 4 or 5 different projects, and each project it was it transformed a little bit, and I think now, like, over the past 4 or 5 years, I got to a place where I'm really comfortable with who I am and expressing it. So I think it's just it's a more authentic and deeper expression from when I started.
Yeah.
But that's what inspired me to do that.
Was that tough at first? I mean,
oh yeah.
I know. Even like us doing this, like you put it out there, and it's like, this is me. I mean, I don't know how you guys. It's like people. You have a reputation, and then you got who you actually are, and
for sure,
you eventually want to get to who you are and be accepted for that.
Yeah.
Some people might not accept that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's tough.
For sure. I mean, it always. I mean, till this day, it still is. So I think about it like. One thing that I've learned is that there is a lane for everything. And I think I learned that the most by I was a security guard for years at a venue in Philadelphia called the TLA. And what I noticed was, like, I worked there every night, and so there was a band every night of the week, and like bands I've never heard of, and it was the most obscure, abstract type of music. But, like, these shows would be packed. And I'm like, what? I'm like, where are all these people coming from? And what's this music? Like, what? I'm like, what? Yeah. But that got my wheels spinning. I'm like, yo, like, there's a lane for everyone. There's millions of people in this world. So if you're making something and it's authentic and you feel it, someone's going to connect with it. It's going to connect with someone. A lot of people will doubt you and tell you not to and try and talk you out of it. But I mean, that's the type of thing where you take what you want from it. You don't. It could be in left ear and out the right.
Did you have to develop that though?
Well, I think so. What makes me think about it more than myself is when Christine left her job. Because she was there for 5 years and she was in it, and then all of a sudden she's like, I'm leaving the corporate world. like she had a plan of starting her own business at one point, but then she was just like, and like co-workers and stuff and people are like, yo, what are you doing? Like, you'll be back when you need money, you'll be back.
They said that to
you?
Or
like, people and her friends even cutting her off.
Yeah, a lot. It just was like,
for sure, instead
of seeing my vision or seeing that, it was like change. Everybody has a lot of people have an opinion on change when and doubt.
So when you heard those doubts and people were telling you not to do it or to come back, what did you feel and how did you? I know you leaned on him a couple times, but how did you get through that?
Well, the way my body works is a lot on feel. So I experience gut feelings. I feel energy from people a lot of the times, and this felt like the right path, and this felt like the right mission, and in my gut I knew that this was the next chapter of my life, to put all my energy into it.
Wow.
So years of shedding people pleasing had prepared me for this time and that shift. So I still had to like shake some of it off, and I still work on not taking things so personal from somebody else. But I've learned that a lot of people come with their agenda or their own perception that's reflecting, like projecting on to other people, right? So through this process I have learned that like not everything that's said to me is 100% truth. You know, because everybody has come from different experiences, and there's different reasons why everybody says the things they do and where they're coming from. The younger me would take every single person's opinion and just like hold it in and just like internalize it. But this process has allowed me to be like, no, I can do this, and it's not going to be easy. All these choices are from us. There's not like a boss that's saying you can't play music in that way. Whereas previously, if you're working under somebody, you're under their mission and their philosophy. So when something arises and your gut instinct is to do it a certain way, but you're bound by expectations of somebody else, that even how hard this is, I feel free from that.
Just be done with it. You know, like it's funny being on the road. We've definitely met a lot of people who have come from the corporate world, and just like one day I woke up tired. Like it's a story like you hear over and over. Like people are just like, yeah, I got tired of what I was doing. I wasn't loving what I was doing. I was doing it because, you know, that's what I was brought up. That's
school,
how I was.
Everything, movies, everything.
And so like they're like, I wasn't happy, so I jumped in. I really wanted to do this, so this is what I'm doing. Like it may not be musicians. Like I've met a lot of like people who do video work, who have just been like, you know, and then they put all their energy into that, and they're making beautiful art, you know, and they're happy. And that's what like seems to be the most important thing to people is like happiness. Like,